Hyperlapse photography. I've seen it everywhere recently, and I just find the idea of taking multiple photos of a subject from different angles and turning it into a video really cool. So that's why I decided to make this video. And if you're new around here, my name's Marcelina and I make videos about videos. Videography, that's kind of what my channel is about right now. It might change, you never know, but you know, that's life. So this isn't actually the first time that I've tried hyperlapse photography. I tried it like 2 or 3 years ago for a school project that I did, and I mean, here it is. I think at the time I thought it turned out okay, but I mean, I didn't do any stabilisation or any kind of editing in post, so you know, it doesn't look that good. So you know, I thought it's about time to try it again and see what I can do outside this time, because you know, having real life subjects, well, it's going to be buildings and stuff, but having subjects out in real life just makes it a whole lot more interesting than having figures in a studio. So from what I know, hyperlapse photography has to be done in like a controlled kind of manner. So like, you can't rush it, I guess. Basically what you do is if you don't know, I mean, if you're watching this video, you might know, who knows, but I'm going to explain it anyway. So what you do is you pick, you put a grid on your camera screen thing. You pick a certain point on your subject, be that the actual center or like a clock face or a corner of a building, and align it with one of the crosses on the grid on your screen, and make sure that in every photo that point is at the same point on the screen as it was in your first photo, if that makes sense. So that way it should make your video look more stable, but you're gonna have to end up using a stabilizer in the edit anyway, I think, because it's kind of impossible to make every single shot on the same level, like make it exactly the same as the first shot. So the main thing you need to have for this is a tripod. Now recently I've seen someone do it without a tripod, just like freehand, and it turned out okay, but I mean, are you really going to risk it? Because it really does take a long time to do this if you want to do it properly. So to create a hyperlapse, all you need to do is move your tripod and take a photo every time you move your tripod. That's as simple as it is. So for my first 2 hyperlapse attempts, I used my tripod as a monopod, because you know, I just thought it would be easier to move, but turns out it just made it look more shaky when I went through the photos on my camera. So for the third one, I thought, why not go all out and actually use the tripod like it's supposed to be used. Crazy, I know. So I used these paving stone things on the floor as reference points, and moved my camera every 2 for every photo to get kind of like an evenish distance, and yeah, I think it worked. I don't know how many photos I ended up taking, but it must have taken me at the very least 2 hours to get all 3 of them done, and well, here they are. I know I didn't take the most interesting photos of those subjects, but you know, this is like a hyperlapse test, not a photography test thing. Next time, for the next video I do about hyperlapses, I'll make them a whole lot more interesting. I'll make sure they look much nicer. But yeah, after editing them in Lightroom, I haven't done it yet, but I'll now go on to adding a warp stabilizer in Premiere and stitching them all together into a video, so hopefully that will reduce a lot of the shake that they ended up having, because I wasn't careful enough. So what have I learned doing this video? Well, first and foremost, use a tripod properly if you're going to use a tripod, and just be as careful as you can be with hyperlapses, because they do take time and a lot of effort to make sure that they look as professional as they can look. Take your time to make sure that that specific point you chose on your subject is in the same point of the frame in each photo, because I kind of let that go in some photos, and I think it's noticeable, and it kind of, well, it reduced the quality of the hyperlapses, and I think they would have looked so much better. The final thing is, use a wide angle lens, a lens you'd use for landscape photography, just to get much more stuff in the photo. I've got a 10 to 20mm on my camera, and I used it at 20mm I think the entire time. I mean, I could have used 10, but it just put a lot of unnecessary things in the shot. But yeah, that's the video. If you want to go do a hyperlapse, go do a hyperlapse. It's fun. As time consuming as it is. Next week, what am I doing next week? Next week, it could be next week, it might be the week after next week, or the week after next week. You never know. But my next video, I think I'll be doing a 5-minute B-roll challenge, which is when you go to a random place and then put 5 minutes on the timer and just get as much B-roll as you can in those 5 minutes and see what you end up with. Which might be a challenge for me because I always take like a few hours to get my B-roll done. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!